Hey guys, JH. Welcome to the practice tee. Beautiful day, beautiful day. I think it's always a beautiful day when you can get on the practice tee and hit golf balls. It's got to be. Can't be anything more relaxing and enjoyable. If you're hitting it okay, that is. I mean, it's probably a place you never want to be if you're out there hacking it. I guess that's why Mo Norman really loved, and Hogan loved, going to the practice tee, because they just hit good shots, and they knew they were going to hit good shots. Although Hogan did in his early days, but certainly after he found his swing, he certainly did. Okay guys, just following on with a little bit more Mo Norman particles. Now clearly, when we've got our backswing going and we're loaded in our Mo Norman swing. Now the lateralizing, a lot of guys have said to me they're having difficulty with the lateralizing and what it's really supposed to feel like and how they do it. Well guys, Mo did what Rory McIlroy does, but did it from a lateral geometry point of view as opposed to a rotary dynamics point of view. Okay, explain, JH. Okay, so when Mo got it back here, he didn't just go like that. What he did in actual fact was sit into his right rump and his left rump. It was almost like he was trying to sit on a chair with this rump like that. The right rump went there, but the actual buttocks and the rump actually went like that. They're like, and if you watch Rory in a conventional golf swing, I mean, Rory at the top of the swing goes like this, and Tiger does and did and does. They get to the top and then they sort of sit into this. That rump goes in there, and then they get in there and then they stand up through the ball. Well, Mo doesn't. Mo gets into that rump, and that's part of his lateral mass movement process. He slides into it and sits into it and stays in it, whereas he doesn't force it down and then sort of stand up out of it. So to get that lateral motion going and shifting your mass, just think of doing this there. Now remember, Mo said he had his vertical drop. Now if you do that, the club does that. And if you saw Mo at the clinics, and there's lots of video of him on YouTube, where he's, and that Craig Shanklin one that he did for the PGA convention, he does this. He said, my move's this, like this. Now when you do that, this goes here. Now for me, when my shots start to lose a bit of their impact and their power, it's because I'm not sitting into that lead buttock area and getting my lateralization by that type of mass movement. I just don't want to do that, because you want to go lateral, but as you're going lateral, the hips are actually still like that. They're not like that. It's not that type of move, guys. It's an oblique lateral move. It's that. It's oblique lateral move. The right leg's always inside the left, and if you look at it front on, it's that. It's that. So it's sort of an oblique shove, if I can put it in that, use that terminology. And what I find, guys, is when I really do get that sit into the process, it really does give me turbo time. It really does add to the impact of the shot and the drag and the lag. I mean, I don't get, you know, I don't get the stuff that Mo got. I mean, I'm not a lagger. I mean, I don't like to jam the club in here. I like to maybe a little bit here, but then I let it go. But I pull a little bit. I pull to here, and then I'm firing with this new process at the last instant, which is our atomic particle right at the ball. But I don't drag and lag as hard as Mo does because I don't lateralise as hard as Mo does. I wish I could. And the wind is just ripping across here. There's no flags here, you can't see, but it's just, and it's the right-hander's curse. This wind over your back going left to right. But the good thing about the Mo Norman swing, it has no effect on it. None. It just holds this line because there's no side spin on the Mo Norman. Or, you know, or my version of the Mo Norman mechanics. There's not a lot of side spin on the shot because we're hitting that tack into the ball, guys, on the equator. We're not sort of underneath the ball. Okay, I haven't hit any shots, guys, and I have a very, very sore lower back today. Some crazy new floor exercises I was doing. Got to realise that I'm not 25 anymore. But they say, what do they say, guys? If you let your brain think that you're not 25 anymore, you won't be. And I'm not, but I think I am, so I think that's a good thing. So I'm really sore in the lower lumbar today, so I mightn't be able to lateralise much as I think. So we're gonna take it back. We're gonna sit into that there. Our first shot of the day, guys, and I've got my old tree stump up there is my target. Hasn't moved, and that was a very, very scratchy swing. There wasn't a lot of shoulder turn on that, but that was. And again, I say all the time, guys and girls, the good thing about this, the mechanics of this swing, is that even when you're tight and you're not timing it, you know, you might be, you know, second or third groove, but you'll still structurally be sound and you'll hit the ball straight. Doesn't move. Got to turn a little bit more. Now that shot there, when I don't turn, clearly I don't get behind the ball enough with my shoulders, and I just don't get through it and release it, and I just get that little 5-yard push. Perfectly straight, but just a little push because I'm just not behind it with my shoulder turn. And I am really stiff today. Oh boy. I feel like I've got a 75-year-old back today, guys. And I've never had any trouble with my back, but just the last, you know, few weeks I've been doing these crazy exercises, and they're good. They're good for core strength and you know and thigh strength, and you know hamstrings and that type of stuff. But even today my quads feel a little bit spasmy. When I sat in there, it just felt a little bit spasmy. Okay. So I'm trying to get a little bit more shoulder turn. I feel like I've only got, you know, not much shoulder turn because I'm pretty tight, but I'm also trying to really sit into that lead rump area like this. But of course, if I don't make the required backswing, I can't get the resultant lateralization pull amount, because it all starts with the turn and the loading. Oh wow! Well, I could just hit it like that every day. That's just hit the stump on the fly, dead centre. Stump's about a metre wide. It's an old big tree that was cut down. Just hit it flush, dead centre. It's 5-iron. Wind's pretty strong. It's actually very strong. It's only about 155 metres to that today from here. I normally fly that way over the top of it, but the wind is sort of right crosshead and it's right into me. And guys, as always, whenever I'm doing anything, I never have the same target all the time. It might look like I'm aiming in the same general area because of the camera, but I always aim at a different target. Now, you know, where that stump is, I'll aim to the right of it a little bit left, and there's a tree to the left of that stump and a corridor about 5 metres wide. You know, I'll go in that or I'll aim at the tree. I never ever just hit a shot for the sake of hitting a shot. There has to be a purpose in it, and there has to be a target. Now that'll hit it again. I just aimed that a couple of metres to the right of that, and the wind has changed around 180 degrees. It's now coming this way, and that's just took it back on the target and held it up. I mean, it's got quite strong up there. That didn't get. That was about 5 yards short. So if I was going to that into this wind, I'd be hitting a 4-iron. It's only 155 there, but I'd be hitting into this wind a full 4-iron. And it's amazing how the conditions change. With no wind, you fly that by, you know, 15 to 20 most times. And that's why I like this place, because it's wide open. It's like a plains area, and you're always faced with the wind. Now guys, there's another shot, exactly the same. I'm just not getting the turn going, and I haven't got the lateral drag as much, and I'm certainly not sitting into that rump as much as I need to. I'll really try and do a good job of that this time. There it is. Wow, I sat on that. Ah, there you go, guys. Mo, one of the things. I used to have a saying that I used all the time when I really, even my old conventional swing, you know, I felt that I was always really, you know, sitting on the ball, even with my old conventional swing. And I said, the first time I remember I hit a couple of shots, and I said, wow, I really sat on that. And he said, you sat on it? I said, yeah. And he looked at me and said, what are you trying to hatch it? I thought that was brilliant. He said, what are you trying to hatch it? Do you think it's an egg? And then I hit a couple of shots. He said, still sitting on it? He was fantastic. So what are you trying to hatch it? Yeah, sitting on it. Okay guys, I'm really going to hatch this one. Hatch that one. Woo! There was 2 chickens in that egg, let me tell you. That's good guys, I'm really getting a lot of sit in this shot. And for one of my email buddies, internet buddies, Mike in the US, buddy, this will be good for you, because Mike's doing Mo, and he's a very athletic guy, but he just can't get this going in the golf swing, and maybe he's trying to to do this too much. So Mike, this might be good for you, buddy. Just feel like you're going to sit here. We're just going to first, from the top of the swing, just sit here. Now that'll get you forward rather than just trying to shove the hips laterally, which can toss the shoulders back too far. Okay, Mo had a lot of spine angle lean back because his head was outside his right knee at impact. But for you, Mike, this could be a good solution, buddy. All right, see if we can get it between the tree and the stump. There you go. There you go. One of the guys was asking me why I, or one of the YouTube guys, not one of my core guys that I teach, but asking me why, how I pick the ball so clean all the time. Don't take divots, guys. I've got a really, damaged left elbow from my martial arts days, and I really, it really hurts me to do that. So invariably every shot that I hit, I've got a little bit of chicken wing. And because I've got a little bit of chicken wing, the club is actually leveling out a bit. It's not really steep. And I've always been a really good long iron player and always been able to hit the ball off tight lies. It never worries me. But I just don't take any divots, and I never really have. And that's probably the reason. Because I'm not a jammer. I don't jam it in here. I don't come down steep. And I do have a little bit of pull in the golf swing. Okay, we'll see if we can really sit on this one. Hatch one here. Got to really turn more. See, that's what we call a third groover. I'm perfectly straight, but just didn't get down to it enough. That's perfect. Now that's a lot of, I could still have more of that rump set. That's perfect. Can't believe this wind, that's changed around again. Now it's coming left to right. And there's nothing to make it turn around. There's no mountains or anything around here. The ocean's not far away, but it's amazing. And that's probably why I like practicing here, because you never know. It's a bit like Forrest Gump. It's just practicing here as a boxer, like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Just hit a few with the driver. Because with the driver you've got a little bit more time to do that sit. And this is the 43.5 inch driver, guys. CO, I was saying the other day, it's 24 swing weights difference. It's not, it's about 14. C to D is 10, and then we've got, they're normally about D3, D4 mods. Well, this is CO. So it's still 14 swing weights, but they're only head weights exactly the same. So you don't get any mishits. I mean, I never get any, true mishits as such. A bad hit, bad shot for me, is just an under release, and it's just like a push. But I don't get slingers, and I don't get, flares or anything like that. Okay, we'll really put the Mo particle in here and really sit on it. Like that. That's a bullet. That's gone straight over the tree. And straight over the middle of the tree. Okay, you might be able to see it a little bit better in the drive. I mean, I'm still, because of my tight back today, I'm not making much of a turn, but that was a really good shot. And you know how good this system is, guys, when that wind is so strong, it just doesn't move. I mean, that big tree is about 20, in the foliage, probably 25 feet wide. It just went straight over the middle of it. That shows how strong the wind is. That's only about 185 metres from here. Okay, the tree's about 50 foot high. Oh, probably 45. But it's just flying over that, so it's only carrying, 200 and probably 205 in the air. About 230 yards. But it's like a 30-yard wind. Right, see if I can do a couple really good. Stay back a little bit. I'm not staying back very much because my back is really compressing that right side down. Puts a lot of pressure on that lower lumbar. The good thing is, guys, they still go dead straight. Although the wind's right, probably 4-5 yards, just a little leak. There's no leak on that. That plugged the leak. Yeah, guys, you'll never see me here like that. I've just never done that. I get in here, then I just let it go. And that's why I've probably always been straight. As a drill, just get a 8-iron or something. Now you can really stretch the turn. Now that really feels like I'm sitting on it. Really feels like I'm sitting on the shot. Now if you can wind your shoulder turn up off a short shot, it should be easy with long momentum. Actually, I always, when my shoulder turns down, I get a short iron and try and wind it with the short iron because there's not as much momentum, so you've got to do it more physically with your shoulders. That's a good thing about, again, about the Mow type mechanics, guys, is, you just short irons. Look, if you get in position on a golf course where you've hit a good shot and you've only got a short iron, you don't want to miss the green. I'm never going to miss it with short irons with this golf swing. And you don't get that horrible thing that happens with most club players, is they pull their short irons. It's because they don't turn enough. They just pick the club up, and that's why most club players pull their short irons. And it's just such good contact. Alright, one more, and I'll try and do a really good turn on this. Really torque those shoulders up. That's just perfect. Okay guys, just another little snippet about the particle and how we can get going laterally. Because it's hard to do that, because if you do that, it'll tend to take the hips up. By sitting into that rump, it takes the hips down and we go to the ball. If we go like that, we can actually go up. And when we go up, we go backwards. So if you sit into that rump, you know, the whole hip girdle will go down as you sit into the rump, which is what probably the major point of the message should have been at the start of the video. That going like this, you'll keep the hip girdle down and going forward, as opposed to, you can go lateral, but you don't want this hip girdle to come up. This lead hip to come up. You want it to stay low here. That's a good thought. Just keep the lead hip low as we're hitting it. That makes you sit into it. Okay guys, have a look at that, and we'll just keep coming back with little particles as we go along.